Hi there and welcome to Bustthenet. Yes, this is the channel where I do anything and everything with Football Manager. We do playthroughs, guides, I try to do all kinds of things, and sometimes I get interesting saves, which I get on Gamechanger, a chance for me to delve into your save and share my thoughts on things I probably won't be doing in the save, right? So that is just my personal experience. Of course, other people may have different ways of playing it, but this is my way of playing it, and what would I do? It was me. So I've got this save here that comes from Jerome. I'm not going to try and pronounce his name because it's the surname is Guliminio, I think. So if I got it wrong, please forgive me. I'm just going to call it Jerome. Okay, so this time around we're off to France. It's League One. He's managed to get Brest promoted from League Two, which is quite an accomplishment because you have to understand that this team finished champions of League One the year before. They did pretty well. If you look at the run that they had, they played superbly. They played a 4-2-3-1, big score lines. They lost to PSG in the French Cup semi-final. Now, this is interesting, right? You did well. You played Rene, Ron, or whatever, how you pronounce it, away. You beat them 1-0. You played Nice. You beat them 3-1. These are two teams that are in League One. This was not a bad match. If the result, but you look at it, you scored a goal in the 90th minute, right? And you want to know, basically, you definitely want to know what kind of chances you created in a match, whether or not it's luck or you outplayed them. So here, in this case, you managed to get a break and you scored from a break, and their transition failed. Then you got humped by PSG, so that showed the gulf in standards between your team and their team. You did play a 4-2-3-1 for the whole season, and then you switched it around for some of the other matches. You played a 4-4-1-1. No way you could power them, get past them. In fact, they went attacking 4-2-3-1 on you, which put a lot of pressure on your flanks. So the question I got from Jerome was this: how is it that I've done so well in League One, in League Two? Now I come to League One, and my top scorer, for example, who scored all those goals for me last season. So we got the top scorer here. His career stats: he scored 32. Now he's only scored 7 goals in so many appearances. Well, the reality is this: when you get promoted, you're gonna have an issue, right? It's called the attribute gulf because top sides in top leagues have especially Champions League standard. They're looking at 15 for the average high important attributes. So all the really important attributes are positioning off the ball is 15. Acceleration is going to be 15. So these are the important attributes in the. I like to call it some of these attributes core duty attributes. So if I wanted to play somebody in a support duty, if I want to take on PSG, I need at least 14 or 15. 15 to be probably on par and probably give them a good run for their money. But if I'm like 12 or 11, then I probably am going to struggle against these teams because positioning shows itself in games when defenders are not in the right area to defend. It looks all fine and dandy until one mistake and that's it. He's out of position. So these will show themselves in the game. So what I'm going to try and do is pick a few games. I'm not going to cover them all, but we're going to cover some of the salient ones and then try and show you. I'll try and show this to you. On top of that, you got to look at training. You got to look at how you select your players. You got to look at your squad depth, what you've done, and I'm going to do that as well. These are things that you have to focus on. And then when it comes to tactics as well, playing a tactic you understand is something that is preferred than downloading a tactic. I mean, if you download a tactic, sometimes you have no idea whether the chap on the other end has got his own plans for specific kinds of players. So yeah, let's take a look at your scouting, or rather your transfers. Now this is interesting, right? When I went through your save, I was pretty impressed because you see the thing you've done here is something most people won't do. When I get promoted, I'm replacing my spine. My spine is basically, I'm looking at all my support duties and I'm going to improve. I'm going to try and improve as many support duties as I can. Right. So I'm looking at like any playmaker, any midfielder in the center. The first target I have is the two central midfielders, is the first area I look at, and then the two fullbacks. Then I worry about the rest, right? And I'm going to look for a defender with great jumping reach. But what you did was you actually need to sign two fullbacks. Here we got two fullbacks. They're okay. Look at this. His positioning is only 11. Now, how do we know what is the right number? Look at comparison. Then you quickly take a look at midfielders, and you look at midfielders and strikers because your defender is playing against them. So off the ball, paired off with position. Positioning is against off the ball. So we've got off the ball here. The league is 14.2. AS Monaco. You're aiming for 14.2 because don't forget that this is an average. So the more players there are in the midfielder and strikers group, the average drops. So let's just take a look at Monaco as a team. Monaco here, and we just filter this by the players that your defenders are going to be up against. Let's try this guy, Tielemans. His off the ball is 13. Okay, acceleration 14, anticipation 14. Young player, midfielder, center. Okay, not too bad, right? But he's got better off the ball than your defender, who's got 11. Then let's look at the strikers. Radamel Falcao. That's it. Off the ball 16. Your defenders will not be able to know where to. They can't handle his movement. His movement is going to be so good. He doesn't have to be fast, but he's always going to be finding pockets of space all over the pitch. So your defenders have to have good concentration, and if they don't have positioning, they have to have acceleration. If they don't have acceleration, they need positioning. So it's a toss-up between the two. We don't have to go very far. Then look, another player here is off the ball is 13, acceleration and agility. He keeps the ball really well. So his off the ball is pretty decent, but he can dribble and keep the ball. So getting the ball off him is going to be the problem. Not, the moment he gets the ball, he's just going to dribble at players, and that's going to be he's very unpredictable with his flair, his passing, and his vision. So he's very dangerous. So we can see that there's going to be an issue, right? We just picked just a few players here. Rafinha, off the ball 14. So if they were to play against you, they probably have a hell of a good time moving your players around. So you wanna look at attributes. I've written in my book, right? So basically you got core duty attributes. So what you want to do is you want to look at your defenders. Okay, you basically start with your defenders, right? You need to look at jumping reach. First up, do you have defenders who got jumping reach? Yeah, you got okay, that's it. We got Webber with 15. Average is there are some guys in the league with defenders with 17. Why is jumping reach important? Because set piece corners, you're gonna have to worry about crosses into the box. Your defenders, can they get to it? I've seen some of your highlights. Anything that was a cross, your boys missed it. So every single highlight shot that I saw in your little save, every single shot that was a cross, your players never cleared it. So there was always a header. Somebody will always connect. This means that there's a danger. And the thing is, when I looked at some of your matches, let's take a look at this season's matches. I'm just going to focus on shots into the box, right? So let's just pick a game here that you won, right? Against Nimes. You won this 1-0. So what are we looking at? Okay, I'm looking at analyzing, and I hope you can use this for your own saves. Okay, so we got Nimes, and then we got shots off target. So I'm looking at these shots. So we got Anthony Lagan. Okay, now this is a set piece. Hits into the box. Guy gets a header free. So that's the first highlight. One header. Set piece, they couldn't handle the header. So this is another shot. I don't know if this is a header as well. Goes into the box. Header from Mustafa Diallo. Not met by any of these players. So another header. So that's two. Just two highlights alone. So let's look at Monaco now. You play the game against Monaco. Once again, we look at shots. Right, so we got a couple of shots here from Monaco. There's wide. This is shots wide. Let's look at the shots at goal. Right, so let's take a look at this goal. Okay, because the others are outside the box. So what we are looking at is positioning now. So, and this is the interesting thing. Most of your goals come from set pieces. Most of the AI's goals come from open play. So this is something else that you have to pay attention to. Okay, so here we got play building up. Alright, so these are your defenders. Look at how narrow they are. You're playing with an extremely narrow defensive width. This is a problem for your tactic. Your boys can't deal with crosses, but you opt to play a tactic which says, please cross. That's what defensive width narrow means. It means that you are giving up the flanks so that you can deal with crosses in hopes that you win the cross and turn it around. But you're not going to win crosses against most teams. So the boys play this pass in. But now look at this defender. Weber does pretty well, but you know, they get the cross in. You're too narrow. You can see the goal. I remember seeing something in one of the matches. So shot save. Let's see here. Okay, this is your boys are tracking back. They are already in good position here. So this is very narrow. This is from outside the box. A shot. There are a couple of chances that I saw, which were basically it was very clear to me that your boys' positioning is not very good. This is a narrow angle. It's not too bad. Defender is here. They clear the ball over the top. Lucky, narrow again, and you're not dealing with the chance. You're doing okay, I guess. Yeah, so these are all centrally placed shots. Now let's look at your shots. Your shots are not central. So this is the one goal that you had. Throw in, goes into the box. Not dealt with. Very fortunate. Free and easy. This is a mistake by them. You didn't craft the opportunity. They made a mistake. Second highlight. Johan caught. Jose plays this ball to Charbonnier. This is nice. This is a nice goal. We want to see more of these kind of goals. This is good movement. But here the central chances that you get. All right, this is a free kick into the box. Header one, not free header into the box. That's a very difficult chance. Then you had a match against Rene. Here, notice one thing: 62 minutes. So how you have to analyze this game? Look at match stats. Now look at shots in the first half and second half. You needed a player to be sent off before you crafted out any chances. 12, and it took you all the way until late in the game before you got yourself a goal. Right, so if you look at the heat maps as well, you're not controlling this game very well, which is understandable because your team isn't very strong. You're spending like 7% of the time inside your opponent's half, but the opponent is doing a pretty good job of keeping the ball in their own half as well. But so you managed to get a goal, not too bad. But even with them down to 10 men, you had an issue because they were able to keep the ball in their own half. So I'm looking at your tactics and I'm going, fine, okay, a lot of goals from set pieces. You got a couple from open play, but generally on the whole, there's a lot more that your team can do, right? So here we want to look at your tactics. So we're going to do that very soon. But first up, let's look at why your boys cannot deal with crosses. All your boys have got very low jumping reach. Your positioning is not very good. And that's the first problem. The second problem you have is your midfielders. Right? You don't have a lot of ball winners here. You've got a player that you've always on the substitute bench called Ferris Ngoma. Ferris Ngoma should be put on the first boat to China. So if you can sell him off, because this is a defensive midfielder who can't tackle. The game says he's a roaming playmaker, but he doesn't have the vision to make the pass. So what can he do? So honestly, he doesn't fit into your team. You got Harris Belkebla, who's about the most decent playmaker that you have. So he can make fine passes, although he's not that fantastic, but at least he's better than nothing. So you got this guy. Thank the Lord you signed this guy, Ibrahima Diallo. Diallo is without a doubt a ball winner for you. So he's got at least a Carrillo. He may not have the vision, but at least he holds the ball up for other players because he dictates tempo. Right. So I mean, I'm not saying he holds out the ball. The dictates tempo. He might slow the game down. He might push it up a notch, and that could come in handy for you. Christian Batocchio is a midfielder, but he can't tackle. He's 9 for tackling. His positioning is 9, so he can't play a support duty. He can only play attack duties. Right, because if you want somebody to play support, make sure they have positioning. That's it. The first thing you want to have bravery. At least they go in for the challenge. But this guy, support. Yeah, but whichever flank he plays on, the defenders better be good behind him. So what do you do? So you only have 2 midfielders, right? So I went through your team and I went, what can he do? You got this guy sitting in the reserves. If he's not going on loan, you got nothing else here. The first thing you're gonna do is you want to promote him to the senior squad. Now, the second thing I noticed was when I did this, I realized, oh no. Okay, there's something here that is not ideal. Look at the loads of your players. they're all very light. They're not going to develop. You're playing normal and half intensity. So you want to take over training from your S-man. And then you want to make sure that the training works on their strengths, right? Or their weaknesses, rather. So here's a defensive midfielder. He's being played as a deep line playmaker on defense. He's been given no additional focus. If I were you, I'll take over this guy and give him the additional focus of defensive positioning. Then you have to take over, I mean, for next month. But, I'll do it for now to show you so that I don't have to go through the whole thing. Here we got another player here. He needs to do something about his defensive positioning as well, because this is the area of the game where you are weakest at. So then you can take over control and do the whole thing. They got Poacher on attack. He's not going to develop, so we'll leave him alone. Fullback on defense, he's okay. I mean, Sergio Fernandez, he's got plenty of potential. So it's going to be a shame if you don't develop him. So he's a Poacher on attack. Very simple development. So just go on shooting. Right. So getting to up his finishing. Right. Over time, you got things, lots of other things. So once you make all these changes, your workload goes up. So notice one thing as well. It's still light. So double the intensity for every player you can. Now, when you double the intensity of all these players, what's going to happen is, here, this guy, make him learn sweeper keeper, because he's going to improve his kicking as well as his vision. And then give him agility and balance. That can always work for a keeper. The workload goes out to medium. You want workloads for your players to be at least medium, right? So you do not ever want to see very light. Very light is very bad. Now you go to under 19s. Do the same thing with the under 19s as well. Go to your players, decide what are the right attributes. Most of your all of them have been given central midfield on attack, because your ass-man is taken over. He can't see any way that he can improve. But the problem for you going forward in the long run is you don't have enough players who can win the ball. So you want to give them a training that gives you, it hits enough attributes. And the deep line playmaker or the roaming playmaker is fine. Even the Mazzala is not a bad role to learn. But a Mazzala will not do defend, right? So deep line playmaker can work. So give him support. Then we go to his training. You see deep line playmakers got first touch, passing, technique, off the ball, vision, work rate, composure, anticipation. These are all attributes you need to develop. Then defensive positioning. It will double up on decisions, positioning, and marking. At least you get some of the stuff being done. If you see players with low work rate, then give them strength. I think it's strength or endurance. One of these two will give you the high work rate. Of course, you will need this, but these will develop over time for youngsters. For deep line playmaker on support. The only downside with that is his concentration is too low. So if you want somebody to be on support duty, you want him to play as a defend duty in any time in the future, concentration needs to go up. And this can also be done via training. So your training has to include attacking shadow play and defensive shadow play, because defensive shadow play has got concentration. So you go through your training and then when you go to your training now, you got your schedules, you got your calendar, your ass-man is doing a lot of work, but here you got technical, right? So you got so many days rest in between your matches. You got like, oh man, this is too much. It's too much rest for my players. This is me. Too much. Way too much. You got technical, tactical. Okay, boys, good defensive shadow play. You guys gonna do attack, tactical, attacking shadow play. Then they can do tactical, defensive shadow play. See, defensive shadow play will give you the attributes you need: anticipation, concentration, decisions, position, and teamwork. Anticipation, decisions, all these mental attributes, you need possession, tactical, and possession, technical coaches. So you gotta go out there and sign possession, tactical, and tech. So basically, what you're looking for: mental, tactical, or mental, technical, right? So these are coaches that you want to go and sign. The board have no concerns about the size of the coaching team. So I go to the board and I go make board requests. Staff, give me a few more coaches, man. What is it? Start, but yeah, okay. So ask them for more coaches. We should increase the number. Yep, there you go. The board agrees. So they're going to give you more staff. So go out there. Now you got increase of 2. Go out there and improve your technical area, because your mental and your technical development is too low compared to the rest of the league. So you want to jack that up. So coaching you've got to do. You got to look at the players and the training as well. So there's a lot of things that you need to work on in order for you to reach that. Because if you want to overachieve, that's what you got to do. If you don't, then you have to accept the effects of what you're doing. So that's the downside. So training here, and we're looking at my players here. Yeah, you got this guy Yuan Court, right? You've got him working on corners. I'm going, man, I need him to score goals. Because he's going to come in and score goals. Why would I want him to work on corners when he's more dangerous coming in? So, can you do one shooting or final third movement? See, the thing is, how do you know what the attributes are going to be? Come into training, go here, final third, composure, decisions, vision. Don't want that? Okay, we'll do shooting then. Bang, finishing, long shots, technique. This improves because the area of his game that's the weakest is this. And you can get, and he scores, I'll show you how he scores goals later. He scores quite a few. He gets into very good goal scoring positions. So you want to improve that side of the game. This is the thing about the game, right? It tries to mimic real life. You want to individualize your training sessions so that you can develop your players effectively. So you got quite a few players here, like Quentin Bernard. You want him to develop a long throw strategy. Is 9. Is it worth it? What does he bring to the table? He's a fullback. You want him to get up the pitch. He's already 30 years old. I don't think long throws are going to be anything that he's going to do well in. What you don't want, when he's 30 years old, you do not want his attributes to degrade. So he's got complete wingback on support. Here, there's a lot of attributes that he's working on. So just keep him as a... I would just go inverted wingback on defense. Fewer attributes to work on. Okay, forget the long throw. Work in a defensive position so you don't lose decisions, positioning, and marking. So once a play hits 30, don't be too ambitious with his training programs. Say you got this guy, he's got none, but you haven't opted to give him training. So I would play him as maybe as a wing back on support, right? This is pretty good. I mean, I don't have to look at it. I'll probably know what the attributes are. Then what I want to do, off the ball, because I want him to get further forward. He's got acceleration, I knew it. Off the ball, he needs improvement. Yeah. So this train development, you got concentration, decisions, anticipation off the ball. These are all elements, mental attributes for attacking movement. All these can also apply for defending. Brilliant. So he brings more to the table. So this is what you want to do. Free kick taking, don't bother, right? His free kick taking is 13. Right at this moment, you need your players to get stronger in the attributes that they're weaker at. At this age, you don't want his attributes to degrade. So fullback attack, free kick attacking, I would just go defensive positioning, normal intensity. You got to take over. So his training is too light. Now, if I go to the squad training, you will notice one thing. It's all light again. This is your senior squad now. This is not good. So what you want to do is you want to keep everybody on normal intensity as far as possible, because if you're looking at your training on a weekly basis, it's not very heavy. October, you see, you got so many rest days. So look at a report will come, which is in your inbox, which is your training report, right? So I think if you do a look, training, your workload is low. So your players can afford a bit more intensity. So you can definitely up their intensity because their workloads are all very light. So here double intensity hits medium. So go double intensity. This says half intensity, but you can afford normal intensity. Still medium. Because even if you play him a lot. So these are things that you can do in your game. Right? It's perfectly fine because right now you're not optimizing their development. So that's basically it. So these are some of the areas that you need to look at. Training is a really big part, a missing chunk in your whole development. Okay, so we've done stuff, and now let's look at your tactic. Now, what I have realized about your system of play, it's not that bad. You definitely got something going here with your tactic. There's nothing. When I started playing this, I didn't change the tactic very much. I mean, I changed a couple of the roles around. But look at this. You got Carrirello. Carrirellos, by nature, stay wider. So what's going to happen is the Carrillo goes up here, big gap appears here, so somebody is going to fill up. So this should not be a fullback on support. It can be a support duty, but you want somebody to come in here and give him a hand. So the best role is actually going to be inverted wingback, either on defense or on support. This you can keep a Carriello here, but you need another role coming in here so that this is done a bit more effectively. So this probably you'll end up playing Diallo and Balcabila here. The second thing is you got way too many of these. Pass it shorter. So remove this. All these should be removed. Get further forward for inside forward. It's just going to isolate him from the rest of the team. This fullback on attack bombing forward with a DLP. DLP has to do more defending than his pass creation. So this is another issue here with the tactic. You don't need a fullback on attack in a 4-2-3-1. He can be a fullback on support. He can do the overlap. He gets further forward. Right, so the overlap is going to position him further up the pitch. Carriero, no, don't give away the ball. Carriero's a very good at recycling possession. Use that strength in him to get the ball to other players. A poacher trequartista is a great combination. So is a target man and shadow striker. So is a target man and a trequartista. So these all work. The idea here is why are we using it? Personally, you have a pretty good player in the final third, right? This guy. He's got jumping reach of 14. So against most defenses, he's probably going to win the headers. So use his ability to win the header and get the ball to other players. That means your play gets directed towards him. So a target man is actually quite a good option here. Wing on attack, more direct remove. There's too many PIs here. The Carriello, then we got the back line. Okay, this is done. Okay, fine. What about the shouts? Very narrow attacking width is going to concentrate the play towards the center of the pitch. Players are going to be closer together. They're not going to use the full width of the pitch. You have wingers. You're not using the wingers to go down the flanks. You got a fullback who's trying to overlap, but nobody's going to look at him for passing up. They're going to be too close. They're not stretching teams out. They're not creating space for you. So the question is, and then you got pass into space. Okay. So what you want to do is, your width should be at least standard or narrow. Standard should be a better width. This is the mistake. This is suicidal. Standard is just fine. Lower line of engagement, high defensive line is fine. You are what you're doing here is you are compressing play, but this you're compressing play inside your own half. Lower line of engagement means you're waiting for them to enter your half somewhere around here, somewhere around this area, well past the halfway line. So you can afford to be standard line of engagement. Counter regroup is not bad. So is counter press and hold shape, which means that you're gonna try and keep possession, but every time you lose possession, you're more interested in holding your shape instead of bombing forward. Right? So if you counter press, counter is more gegen. So you counter press. So when you lose the ball, you try and win the ball back, right? And then if they lose the ball, you win the ball back, you're looking for a counter attacking opportunity if it presents itself. So good option sometimes is actually for more defensive sides is regroup and counter. Okay, so this is more defensive. Pass into space if you have possession numbers makes sense, right? So hit early crosses also can be removed. Right defense, if you have the players to right defense, opt for this. Not extremely high tempos. I don't understand why people have this need to use this. Extremely high tempo makes everything go a bit faster. So do you have the players to do this? Do you have players who can make the passes? Do you have off the ball? No. Off the ball is a premium in your team. You don't really have it. So do you have attack duties in the final third? 2. That's about it. Got these 2. Maybe here. So who is going to look for them? Who on support, ball playing defender? Maybe. So you might bet hoof balls. You want to keep the ball from the opposition. So while this may have worked in the championship, it might struggle against better sides. So there are certain things that you need to do, and we have to simplify these a lot. And I'll show you what I've done here. A 4-4-1-1 isn't a bad tactic. Again, you got to ask yourself, why are you using some of these shouts, right? And why are you using a lot of these PIs? Dribble more. Why dribble more? If you want him to dribble more, why choose a DLF on attack? Right? Roam from position. Why do you go DLF on attack? You could have gone trequartista. You'll dribble more and roam from position, and definitely do a lot of things. He'll even drop deep, making space for the shadow striker. Shadow striker shoot less often, roam from position. Shadow striker shouldn't be roaming from position. He doesn't need to roam from position, right? So he's going to act as another playmaker in this position. Central midfielders take furious shoot less often. Okay, hold position. That's not too bad. It makes sense. Inverted winger on attack, take furious, sit narrow. Sit narrow, inverted wingers start from wider position and cut inside with the ball. If you're asking to sit narrower, it's to do something with this guy, for this guy. So if he's sitting narrower, it just compresses your play. So it doesn't allow you to use the full width. So this wingback on defense, he might overlap given the opportunity. If he has, no, he's going to try long range passes, so he's not exactly going to overlap. Then we've got a DRP on support. So these are small little things I would remove. Again, extremely high standard. This may work against some teams, but you want to try and control matches a bit more. Again, here, the mistake. This is the fundamental error that you're making with a tactic. You're inviting teams to cross the ball at your defense that can't handle crosses. So what did I do? How did I approach your game? Basically, there's not much of a change at the top of the table. You're still fourth on the table. You haven't lost any games since I took over. We took over, I think, after Montpellier, and we played a few tactics. We tried a 4-2-3-1. We tried a 4-1-4-1. I needed to get to know your team. We beat some teams. We did okay. We had some nice matches. The one thing you asked me was you wanted to get your what's his name, Gaetan Charbonnier, to score goals, and we managed to get him scoring goals again. Right. The thing here is this. The challenge was how to play this team. Right. So we managed to do quite well against Toulouse. Toulouse was a pretty interesting match. Right. So we had we created some very good chances in this game. Once again, you're looking at shots, Toulouse now. They had these shots on target, right? Off target rather. Shots saved. Still decent shots inside the box and shots blocked outside the box. But when it came to Brest, shots on goal, we had one smack dab here. We'll watch this highlight first. So here is your target man. So I'm using him as a target man. The ball goes wide, they cross the ball, and he just scores an easy goal. Then we had a second goal from your target man. Target man is standing on the shoulder of the last players, pushing them back. This is your court, who had a lot of chances to shoot at goal as well. Slides in a perfect pass, and your target man scores the goal. So against us, Toulouse shots off target. So they had some chances. Here defensively, they had to cross into the box. Again, we played with a different set of defense. We played with literally, I think, the same set of defenders. Goes inside the box. Again, you see your players are not dealing with crosses. This is the best that they can do. At least they keep a tight lid on the players, but still, you're gonna concede shots from crosses. That's my personal take. We did okay against Toulouse. We beat them 2-0. Then we played Strasbourg using a 4-2-3-1 here. This is Johan Kort's goal. I ended up playing a 4-2-3-1. I normally don't. So here we got good recycling of the ball. Diallo playing to Castelletto. This is good support work from the boys. So we don't. You see, this is your fullback now, right? So we're using the fullback, and then this inside forward does a brilliant pass to this player, which is why you should work on finishing. So instead of sending our boys forward, what we're doing is we're using them to create chances. We're keeping the ball and we're working on opportunities. Again here, same thing. Now on the other side of the pitch, they play the ball to this player who's playing, I think, as a trequartista. Then he plays it to Court, who is the winger, comes in to score. And then another chance here from the back. This is your Court wide on the flank. The ball gets back to your play. This is your fullback, crosses the ball far post, and Court comes in to score again. So you're getting your fullbacks in dangerous positions. So what do I do with the tactic? I went through different variations of all the games. I had a target man. I had a poacher. I started with your combination, poacher, trequartista. Then I decided, target man is better. Why? Because it allows your play to flow through a player. So when they're attacking, everybody's looking at him. So they will look at him for chances. This means sometimes your transitions can be very fast. So at the back, we use an inverted wing back. Why an inverted wing back on support? Because you can play on defense, but he's not going to give you so much. So we remove the overlap instruction so he doesn't go wandering. So he comes out to support play, but he at least gets back to help us defend. He's not very fast. Ideally, we want a play with more acceleration, but Ludovic Bal won't be playing in that position, right? So we got Bernard here, and your Bal is injured. We got David Kiki. I probably end up using him if I had to. But your signing here, no, I probably wouldn't use him because he's just too slow going forward. So we got Weber and Castelletto in defense. So here, Jean-Charles Castelletto is okay. His position is only 12. But the other option is Chardonnay. Chardonnay is 24 years old. Position is 12. Bravery, anticipation. So which player would I pick? Now, I would probably start with Castelletto. He looks like a more complete player than the other defender. Weber has to play. So there's very little choice here. DLP in this position. And then Diallo is playing this position. So this means that your defensive midfielder, Corentin Jakob, I promoted him and he's going to start training. And any match I can bring him on. If I was playing this safe, he'd be playing because there's nobody else. Then we play him as the inside forward as the first choice because he gets forward whenever possible. That's why you didn't need to add the get forward and the instruction, the PI. Now he has got passing, vision, and decision. So he becomes the first choice in this position. Then this guy can be a second choice. So you got enough players to play on the right side of this. So he's an attacking midfielder on the left, but because of his right foot, he can also cut. I mean, he will play as an inside forward. He cuts inside from both wings to come inside, and then he will also try and cross when he doesn't get the opportunity. So this is another option. Then here we have a shadow striker. Now shadow strikers, you've got a few players. You got this player. You've also got Marvin Martin, who I've used, and there's one more player as well. Definitely not him. Aiden Turkeys, but he's not good enough. So I think it's basically between the two of them. This guy passing, vision, decisions, maybe he could play there, but I would go with the first two choices, Valentin Jakob, and you could also play Arture in that position, or you could play Marvin Martin. So these are the three players that can play here. So you got plenty of options here. You got winger on attack. You got other players who can play here as well. And then target man on attack. In his absence, you probably have a Kevin Mai. Kevin Mai can also play on the right. And then you got Ibrahim Toure, he's a striker. I would probably not be playing. Kenzo Berger is not good enough. So as you go down the list, you start losing players. So Derek Osei can be a player in the pinch. Now, as far as PIs are concerned, close down more, tackle harder in the final third. This guy can close down more. You can leave him alone. Close down more, tackle harder. Carriello, DLP. Fullback on support. Cross from deep and cross aim target man. So I want him to aim for the target man. And he crosses from deep. We also have fit early crosses. This is an insurance package. Now, then at the back, central defender, ball playing defender, and a goalkeeper on defense. Eventually, you still want to train him as a sweeper keeper. Now, I've gone with a standard line navigation, a higher defensive line, standard defensive width, because I don't want to play narrow. I don't want to play too wide either, because if you play wide, everybody's going to come through the middle, and that's something we also don't want. Counter regroup. Instead of playing counter press, which could lose. If you don't score a goal from a counter press, you're always going to concede. So regroup as a defensive strategy and then go for the counter, because you probably have a target man up there to play the ball off to either a shadow striker or the winger. Then pass into space. Attacking width is going to be wide because we want to encourage the use of the flanks. Now, passing directness is shorter and tempo is standard, and I'm playing on positives, which is perfectly okay. So this is the setup I would do with a 4-4-1. This is how I play, but you definitely need to invest in if you do well enough this season, the area of the game that you need to invest in is definitely going to be this area. You're going to have to focus on this because you probably have enough players here. What you need is control of midfield effectively. Zafane is okay. Castelletto, you need another. He is a decent defender in a pinch. Weber is not going to last you forever, so you need a central defender who's got jumping reach of at least 16. You got to go out there and look for one. And definitely a fullback. But you've got left back. You've got David Kiki, you can play there as well, 25 years old. So that's not too bad. Your left back position is fine. What about your 4-4-1-1? This 4-4-1-1 is what I created. Shoot more often, remove this. Okay, shadow striker on attack. Wide playmaker on support. Ball winning midfielder. Central midfielder on support with nothing. Winger on attack, close down more tackle. Inverted wingback will come in here, support this area. Fullback, cross from deep, cross aim target man. Central defender. ball playing defender, more direct passing, overlap, overlap, left, overlap, right. This, you don't have to overlap left. This I'm going more direct and slightly higher tempo, which is just about normal. I want to play a direct game here because I want to move the ball from back to front and hitting early crosses. Here again, counter and regroup. Higher defensive line, lower line engagement. So we're basically compressing play and then we're hoping to hit one, hope that we get one and then they can hit it into the spaces here. Target man and support so that he drops here. Shadow striker gets into the box. So this guy, when it comes to his training, attacking, movement, or finishing, he has to do this. Anticipation, decisions off the ball. These are important for him. Then after a while, if he was my save, I improve his finishing too. Well, that's basically it. So we done okay. And I think that you can do it a 4-2-3-1 or a 4-4-1-1. Well, I hope you enjoyed this edition of Gamechanger. If it's helped you and you found it useful, please let me know. If you've got any other questions, you know where to find me. You can always look. You guys, you can find me on the Discord channel. And for the rest of you, stay tuned. We've got more Gamechanger episodes coming. So once again, thanks for all the support. Keep the questions rolling, and I'll try and get back to each one of you as soon as I can. You guys take care. Have a good one. I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.